Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Ashen Casts. And today we are going to have a look at a Qyiana jungle. Wing Changyu running inspiration with domination in the secondary tree. Notable the adaptive force instead of the attack speed. Other things, it is a pretty normal rune page. Alright, the item builds for later on are displayed down below. And now we get a little bit of trivia onto Qyiana, a little bit of a basic guide here by challenger replays. So we are going to go over a couple of things, right? So number one, obviously we have the enemy team. We also have a Talon jungle. So both of these are usually mid lane champions. However, Qyiana as well as Talon, they do make a lot of sense in the jungle, and there has been a pretty decent push for Riot Games, or by Riot Games, to move these champions into the jungle, and it has worked with at least Talon. It has worked, so Talon can be quite scary. All right, we'll see. So Qyiana's bot lane, if you pan your vision over to the minimap, Qyiana's bot lane will be first at their wave, which makes Talon know exactly where Qyiana started. His bot lane started as well. His bot lane actually trapped, or the enemy bot lane, right? So Talon's actually trapped their bot lane, and so we know that Talon probably started at his blue as well. And Qyiana is going to ignore the Krugs here. I have seen Qyiana players not do that, but usually on Qyiana as well as Nidalee, as well as Elise, it is usually better to kill the chickens. Now, why does she do Gromp next? So that is an XP thing, and it basically is this way that the outer camps give more XP than the inner. So he did an inner camp with the chickens, right? The raptors, and now he does the Gromp and then gets the blue buff and is level 3 for the blue buff. So that is the reasoning here. All right, so he will be able to move in to the bottom lane here. I don't know if this is going to work out though. He would have to flash, right? Yeah. No, this is not going to work out at all. Honestly, I would just recall, but he is opting in for a Scuttle Crab take. Always a good idea. Oh. Okay. Still looking at the bot lane though. 77 gold goes over to him, as he still hasn't taken his wolves, so his jungle clear is a little bit all over the place. Alright, Talon sitting in the jungle waiting for him as he gets a kill onto... Oh, beautifully done. Onto the Kalista. Flashes over, E's to a minion. No, Talon. No, Talon. Please, it's so obvious. Talon, my man. Okay. Well, that's a huge pickup for Qyiana here. 2-0. His bot lane's still quite far behind. And they didn't recall, which is unfortunate. Alright, so picks up a serrated dirk and a longsword. You know, Qyiana, her Q, it has her wall Q has execute damage. However, it is built in a way where it actually scales off AD. So if you're below a certain amount of HP, your Q crits. So it's not really execute damage, right? Because execute usually deals more damage the lower the enemy is. but that would scale as base damage, and that would make Qyiana a little bit toxic. Because then you could build something like Triforce, for example, on her, right? She has a million ways to proc it. And you could build a more tanky Qyiana. That is not possible right now. As obviously a crit is much more reliant on base stats of the skill. And since her skills don't have a lot of base damage, but a lot of scaling, that's how they manage to make her rely on being an assassin. Alright. So now you have to keep in mind that Qyiana is quite ahead here, right? So her playing like this definitely is based in the fact that Qyiana can 100%... Oh, I would not do this. Qyiana. So right now he does not have enough cooldown reduction. To constantly spam grass element. So he needs to be a little bit more careful. As Lissandra is probably coming. Yep. Lissandra Ghost. He didn't even hit Lissandra. Lissandra flashes onto the Sivir. Going to try to take down the Sona. Manages to take down the Sona. One kill onto the Lulu has been acquired, but here Qyiana is probably going to go down. Manages to acquire another kill onto the Kalista. But a shutdown goes the way of Lissandra. That was a pretty decent roam. Lissandra used her ghost from her spellbook to help with that gap closing. I think it was a decent situation, and now Qyiana has Prowler's Claw already. So that's going to be scary. Now, Prowler's Claw is very, very good on Qyiana, but it is a more difficult playstyle because you have much less safety in almost every fight. And obviously managing two actives can already be a little bit complicated, especially if you want to manage them, or if, like in Qyiana, you actually need to manage them optimally, right? Because obviously on some other champions, it's not super important how well you manage your actives, right? Take, for example, Veigar. On Veigar, using Everfrost, not that difficult, right? You don't need to manage it optimally. As we have a little bit of a dive going on in the bot lane. Is Qyiana going to be able to acquire a kill here? Alright. Kills one. Jumps over. Kills another. Now he doesn't have his ultimate. So is he even going to be able to kill? Yes, he is able to kill the Kalista. It's going to help his mid laner acquire the blue buff. And honestly, that was a pretty huge pickup. The Prowler's Claw coming in clutch there, giving him the ability to kind of tango with the amount of wall dashing that happened. But overall, pretty good job. You know, held his Q. Something that I also need to get used to is holding your Q till you actually needed your wall Q, right? Your earth element Q. All right, and we pick up another Serrated Turk, and now we have Lucidity Boots as well. Now Lucidity Boots, Lucidity Boots are the shit on Qyiana. You might not believe me, but they are the equivalent of getting a certain amount of cooldown reduction. About Liandry amount of cooldown reduction on Fizz. You suddenly become much more spammy and annoying as a flash is coming out of Qyiana. I don't know about that one, to be perfectly honest, but it's fine. Our ultimate still is not up yet, but it is about to come up, and that is what we are waiting for here. Q goes out as Lissandra does hit her with the ultimate. Yeah, ultimate is ready. and he takes out 2. Talon still alive. Qyiana is looking. Long range Q is going to finish off the Talon as well. And such a beautiful job here by Qyiana executing the enemy team. Perfectly waits for his ultimate, and that is really good usage of his cooldowns. He baited a fight. He baited a fate during the time where he had his ultimate. Right coming up, and he used the ultimate perfectly to kill 2 people, which probably got a little bit cocky, thinking, oh, he could have ulted before, right? But 700 gold, obviously also very tempting, so everyone wants to kind of pick it up, and if you can use that and abuse that, you're in a good spot. Now, besides him, his team isn't doing very hot, so we will still see how exactly this is going. It's a little bit of an issue on champions like Qyiana, because you can definitely lose games if you pick up too many kills. I've noticed this on Sivir as well, where on Sivir, yes. I was talking about Nidalee actually, but that's fine. I've noticed this on Nidalee, where I pick up a lot of kills, and Nidalee is very good at that as well. Just like Qyiana, because of the execute of the Q, right? And I don't... Sometimes you get into that position, right, where the enemy team just has too much ability to lock you down, and they all get the idea actually to like save their cooldowns and lock you down, and then it can be a little bit difficult if your allies are not pulling their weight. So I like to distribute kills, but obviously if you're mechanically able, like this Qyiana definitely is, then that is a whole different story. He stopped attacking there because Herald is going to execute at 2 plates. This is going to be a dead Lissandra. The ultimate was even overkill there, but that's fine. We pick up another kill, and we're probably going to be able to pick up a second tower here as well, as Talon is bot lane, and the bot lane was bot lane as well, in the bot lane where the bot lane belongs to. Qyiana moving into the top side here, trying to pick up a kill, maybe onto the cannon. We'll see how that works. Maybe free up his... Yeah, maybe free up his Ornn a little bit, as cannon is absolutely out of position. So at this point, the question is just, how are we going to kill him? Actually, beautifully done though. Dodges the Q, but Qyiana is just going to pick up the kill onto him. And Qyiana is godlike. 11, 1, and 1. Absolute destructo gameplay here. Youmuu's Ghostblade has been acquired, and there is also armor penetration. Now, there is not a lot of armor on the enemy team, so you might be like, Ashen, but why wouldn't I buy another serrated dirk here, right? So a couple of reasons. First of all, obviously, finishing the item to Cyrilja's crutch is obviously always great, because it gives you slowdown. I know that that is not the original name of the item. I get it. I really do. However, the thing is that, first of all, armor penetration at a certain point in the game will always give you more damage, just because armor values keep increasing, right? Every champion gains passive armor. Well, except certain champions that have specific mechanics built around resistances and stuff. But most of every champion gains passive armor. That goes not only for tanks, that goes for everyone. His ultimate is going to come out a little bit wasted here, but I suppose it is absolutely fine. Yeah, it wasn't really necessary to pick that up, but, you know, it is what it is. As the red team is going to siege down the tier 2 turret in the top lane here. Bot lane tier 2 is still standing, but we are about to try to pick up a kill onto the Kalista. Blind Q here by the Qyiana, as Kalista dodges the second Q, but it will not get her away from the fight. Qyiana picks up another kill. Beautifully done here. Absolutely beautifully done by the Qyiana. 10 out of 10. Absolutely 10 out of 10. Gameplay. Alright. Pick up the jungle. And we will move on over into the enemy jungle. Qyiana absolutely ridiculously strong damage-wise, and we are going to not pick up a kill onto the Talon, who barely didn't get knocked into the wall, and that is a shutdown going down to the Lulu. What a tragedy. Why? Cannon even blaming Lulu for that, being like, you flashed, Lulu, why would you take the kill? I understand, I agree. Why would she take the kill? It is obviously a really unfortunate situation. If that kill went over to the Kalista, for example, who already has quite a bit of gold, as Kalista is going to be threatened here. Is she going to get away? Exhaust popped onto her, but she will be able to get away. As a little bit of a skirmish happening in the bottom lane river? Question mark? In the bottom lane river, but there's not much going to come from it, as everyone but Qyiana is fighting around the dragon. Ornn. Yes, thank you. I am awake, actually, phone. As Ornn is going to secure that dragon for himself. Amazingly done here. And Qyiana just coming in right at the perfect time to pick up some kills. And pick up some kills she will. So, moves in. Has already picked up one. How many can she pick up? Picks up a second. Is she going to be able to pick up Lissandra? Probably, actually, with the... Yep. With the movement speed from Sona. Is able to pick that up. And now I think the best play would actually be not a good trade. This Lulu is a millionaire. I will tell you, this Lulu now a little bit on the Warren Buffett side of the society. We probably see a Rabadon's death cap coming in just from the gold that she's been getting here. She got 1,100 2 times, I think. Hold on, what was the shutdown? I actually want to kind of go back for just a short second here. Just want to go back real quick. Okay. So she actually got approximately 2,000 gold. 2,000 gold just like that. That is for a support. That is almost an entire item, which is ridiculous. However, is a fed Lulu ever going to make a difference? I don't think so. But it seems like the blue team is still kind of staying in the game. Because this Qyiana is absolutely fed. But look at the Sivir. Sivir is still 1 and 6. 10 assists here. As Qyiana is going to go down this time. She goes down to the bad Lulu. But that is actually the top laner who's playing Cannon. Much more valuable gold there. But obviously only a little bit of shutdown was given over there. I think 350 it was probably. So overall like 700 gold given over to the Cannon. Still a pretty good one. Well, 600 gold given over to the Cannon. And yeah, he is dropping a little bit of gold, and this is definitely something that can come back in a couple of minutes to bite him. It's really fortunate that Lulu got this. This cannot be understated. If this gold was on Kalista, like imagine Kalista with 2,000 more gold right now. Let's say 1.5, because Kalista also got assists for that, right? But let's say 1.5k gold added into her bank. You see what that is, right? That is an additional item. That is a 3-item power spike. Potentially very scary, as Kalista is going to pick up a kill onto the Sona as well. Probably out of position here to kill the Sivir. But she jumps over the wall as we have a fight here in the top lane. Obviously, Qyiana trying to deal with Cannon, but it is looking spicy. The Cannon is definitely fighting back. Ornn probably going to be able to finish him, though. And it seems like Sivir was driven out of the bottom lane here by the Kalista. So Kalista definitely doing a solid job. And this game is very far from over. It looks very over if we just look at the POV of Qyiana, right? But if you consider the whole map, we look at Ornn, who's 1, 3, and 4. He just picked up his first kill. He did pick up a dragon, however. Absolute smurf of a player. Qyiana 18, 4, and 3, so it looks very dominant. And then 203 with a almost 50 gold 50 CS gold lead here on the Ahri, which is absolutely dominant. But then we look at the bottom lane, which is a lane that matters a lot. And we have a Sona that is quite weak and a Sivir that is considerably more weaker than the Sona. Very unfortunate here that he doesn't give over the blue buff to the Ahri, as Ahri can really use it. Ahri is very good at being able to pressure the side lanes if she gets a blue buff. We're going to move into the fight here. Going to be able to one-shot the Lulu, zone out the cannon. Are we going to pick up a kill onto the Talon? Picking up a kill onto something like the Talon, yep, is going to be absolutely ridiculous. That means that we can take Baron, and now everyone gets a lot of gold just from the Baron take. Now Lissandra is still alive, but Kalista has died. Cannon is still alive, so generally there is a little bit of scary potential here. I think Cannon does do quite a bit of damage, so maybe it is possible that this could be contested. But yeah, as Lissandra moves down into the bottom lane and they probably decided to contest the Ahri and the Dragon instead, we are going to take down the Baron, and that is a lot of gold going down for everyone, Sivir included, which obviously means that now the team has achieved a little bit of money. Ahri, able to outplay the Lissandra, has a 500 gold shutdown herself now, beautifully done. As obviously something that I wanted to point out, I didn't put a mental note into it, is I didn't realize the interaction between Talon and Qyiana, but being Talon against Qyiana is kind of uncomfortable because your escape mechanism leads you straight into a potential Qyiana ult, which just happened there, right? Qyiana just finishing off the Talon, who was trying to get away with an ultimate into the wall that he was going to be trying to jump to get away, right? But no way for him to get away from the Qyiana, and that is very, 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 very scary to play against that. You know what I should have said? I should have said no way to get away from Wei, because, you know, Qyiana's name. Damn. Well, there is a reason why M is the rap god and not me. So, unfortunate situation there, but we're working on it. Working on the rap god skills, as we are not going to pick up a kill onto the Lissandra. Just going to take down the turret. I'm a little bit concerned about him not being at the team fight with his team. Ornn pressuring the Kalista, and we are going to pick up a kill onto Kali. Lissandra not going to be able to do much as she doesn't have ultimate, but Talon is still there, so there still is like a good amount of damage. But also don't forget that this Ahri is quite strong, so we should be fine. Should be fine sieging down this turret as the Sona ult comes out. That is a little bit weird to look at, a little bit painful to look at as well, as we're going to be Q spamming to try to build up an HP lead. It has been working so far. We'll see how much it'll work to secure us the middle turret, but at least the bottom lane turret has been taken down. The inhib will probably not be contested here, as Kalista is back available and Sona is out of mana. Sona, you are out of juice. You should leave, my dear. Kalista does realize this. Slow onto the Sona, comes out. Ahri jumping in. The Kalista is jumping around, and this is a Lissandra. Yep, this is a Lissandra saying, freeze. Give me your gold. And exactly that happened, as Ahri is going to recall. Very clutch. She doesn't have ult there, so getting out of that situation would have been a little bit more difficult. She did have flash, but she also has a Morello. That is not a Morello. That is a Magi Soulstream. As Cannon is going to take down Sivir, potentially not. Yeah, obviously not. I saw that coming. And obviously Ornn picks up another kill onto the cannon. Sivir still ends up going down though. Tragic situation here. Is it worth it though? I personally say it is not worth it, as this Lissandra is going to be dead as well. Dead in the water, floating up to the surface. And we are going to be probably picking us a mid lane or top lane inhib turret off of that lead. Should be possible. We'll see what exactly happens as Qyiana moves into the top lane, joining her team for another, maybe a last fight We'll see. So, jumps over the wall, picks up a double kill, just like that. I'm still awake. What the fuck? My dear phone. All right. Red team triple kill. Can only assume that was Qyiana picking up another kill. And we are definitely in a very, very advantageous position here. No Baron available, no Dragon available. So we are going to siege down another turret. Generally, sieging down the top lane turret is always great if you want to secure a Dragon. We don't really care about dragons though. The bottom lane turret has been picked up already though. A little bit of a messed up Q here by Qyiana, but that's fine. Alright. Another inhibitor is down, as the bottom inhibitor is on the halfway point here. Coming back up. Baron is going to be up while the inhibitor is still pressuring, so that is something to keep in mind. Also, maybe on the note of inhibitors, something that is always cute to say as a caster is obviously taking inhibitors is a little bit of a double-edged sword. It does give you a lot of pressure and makes the minions push into you. However, it also creates a little bit of a gold disadvantage for your team over the long run, because there is going to be an additional minion that sieges down the lanes, right? And rams gold into the enemy team's throats. So if they can survive that, I'm not going further with this analogy, but if they can survive the onslaught, oh my god, I went further with it. It's fine, honestly. All right, Lissandra ult coming out. Are we going to be able to pick up a kill onto the Kalista? We are not going to be able to pick up a kill onto the Kalista, and Kalista is absolutely on-chained here. Now, obviously, we need to still be careful with the Ahri, because Ahri is still available. But Kalista is definitely looking, right? Definitely looking, but... Oh, ultimate coming out. The Lulu just dashing into the Ornn. Lulu is going to be taken down. Oh no, actually is not going to be taken. Lulu is going to be taken down. No, Lulu is not going to be taken down by the Ahri, and that is Kalista picking up a kill onto the Ornn, as Ahri wasn't able to find the charm, as Lulu is going to be taken down finally. Cannon as well, and this Ahri is going to go down to Kalista. No, Ahri is not going to go down to Kalista. Kalista picks up many kills here and is an absolute force to be reckoned with. Now we'll see how exactly the next team fight will work out after all of this gold swing, as Sivir is going to be taken down. We can only hope that Ahri is able to counter trade. Yes, okay, Ahri is able to counter trade the Lissandra, as Kalista had to move back into her base, and all the 3 inhibitors coming through, creating insane amounts of pressure. And honestly, the game is just over just off the take of the inhibitor. Yes, Qyiana will just be able to move in here and one-shot the Kalista, as Kalista flashes and outplays the Qyiana. This is a kill picked up onto the Qyiana here by Kalista. Lulu ult coming out as well. That means we have a dead Ahri. No Zhonya will save you, and this Kalista is in a Gosu movie. Picking up a kill onto the Ornn, hopefully as well. Kalista does not care about Ornn. He does not do enough damage, so she's just going to pick up all of the gold, and this is a massive gold swing here to the blue team, who is now almost even. And if we consider all the gold on the map that is still standing for the red team, all the turrets, that means that literally they would be in a gold advantage here. Okay, so this is the value of obviously shutdown gold, right? If you consider the gold from all the turrets, and you consider the gold from the shutdown bounties as well, then there is a huge lead here for the blue team in potential gold they could get. So this could swing in a moment's notice. We need to be on edge here, and you know who is not on edge? Yeah, that is exactly right, the Sivir. She is 3 items dawdling around here versus a Kalista who just is a dog unleashed at her throat and takes her down. Qyiana trying to take down Kalista. It doesn't work again, and this is Qyiana going down. It looks like this is an absolute disaster here for the red team. Qyiana taken down, Sivir taking down. Are we going to be able to take a Dragon Soul in any time soon for the blue team? No, definitely not. So that is most likely a lead that will stay for the time being here. But the Baron taken down, maybe even one or two tier 2 towers. Say that 3 times fast. I tried once and failed. It's an absolute disaster here for the red team. Very unfortunate situation, and this is where you feel the pressure as Qyiana, as this champion that wants to go in one shot. You start feeling the pressure. I still would kind of question why there is no QSS here available for the Qyiana. Maybe she doesn't need it if she manages to hit Kalista and Lissandra, but Kalista's positioning so far has been beautiful in these fights. Now we see how this fight will fare, because this is a big advantage here for the red team as Kalista is overextended. Kalista will be taken down, and that is the soul and heart of the enemy team. Are we going to be able to take down the Talon as well? Yes, Talon goes down, and that is a victory for the red team. Blue team was starting to get ahead, but they swung it the other way around, instantly giving up all the advantage they had amassed on their AD carry, with their AD carry just being a little bit too overzealous here, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. But that light was not a light of victory, it was defeat. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Stay awesome.